This is the QTV Nightly News coming to you from our studio on Caraba Avenue, and I am Andy Kerma. Thanks for joining us. Here are the headlines. Due to growing road safety concerns, road safety authorities gathered on Thursday to launch a road safety campaign to raise awareness of the proper use of the Bertel Harding Highway and other roads in the Gambia. As part of continued efforts and dialogue to reach a consensus before the reintroduction of the rejected draft constitution, Gambia participates today, Thursday, convened a national stakeholder convergence to discuss the practical ways of passing the constitution. The Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, in collaboration with the World Bank Group, has launched the Gambia Resilience Inclusion, Skills and Equity Project. The Statistician General Nyakasi MB Sanyang assured Gambians that, among other things, that the 2024 population and housing census will be the most accurate census ever conducted in the country. The Ministry of Gender, in collaboration with the African Center for Democracy and Human Rights Studies and partners, on Thursday commenced a two-day regional forum on women's participation in peace and security in the ECOWAS and Sahel regions. Those were the headlines, and now I look at the stories in detail. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV Nightly News. Across the Gambia, there has been a growing road safety concerns prompted by the frequency of road traffic accidents across the country, particularly on the soon-to-be completed Bertel Harding Highway. To address this menace, road safety authorities gathered on Thursday to launch a road safety campaign to raise awareness of the proper use of the Bertel Harding Highway and other roads in the Gambia. Modulamin Choi reports.
Ranked in 8th position of the World Health Organization list of countries with the highest number of accidents in the world, Gambia's road traffic accident record is a cause for serious concern. The reported number of road accidents in the country indicate a worsening record of cases, triggering authorities to find strategies on how to fix the problem. Usman Sanyang, the Managing Director of the National Roads Authority, Amadou Kamara, Chair of the National Assembly's Select Committee on Health, and King Colley, the Commissioner of the Mobile Traffic Unit of the Gambia Police Force, are among the officials who have joined to launch a road safety awareness campaign with a particular focus on the Bertel Harding Highway, while also considering other roads.
It's evident from what we can see that people don't understand how to use these roundabouts. They don't know how to use the road itself. So hence the importance of this campaign. But again, as safety is universal also, we think there are lessons to be learned from Bertel Harding that can be extended to the entire road network in this country. The duration is 90 days, 3 months. That's the contractual duration, but we hope this is going to be a continuous thing, so it's going to be here to stay.
I don't know whether you have discussed on your budget issue, but please include some of these components of road safety in your budget and come to Parliament during the budget bilaterals. We will give you the green light and we will approve it for you. And I will be the key advocate on that matter in the very day.
Simple. For Gambians, the accidents are on our own attitude. You don't prick and say, Ndogali Allah. Allah kerolo no na kerolo dun dogal yalla ñun ñoko def ñun ñoo nekk di dawal moto ñun ñoo nekk di joxe lansin ñu xamne mënuñ moto ñun ñoo nekk di dawal ci yoon bi xamne baxul kon dun doxal yalla. If yalla can reply, he will always reply us no.
In 2023 alone, according to the Gambia Police Force Mobile Traffic Unit, the Gambia recorded more than 1,210 road accidents with 148 victims losing their lives. In the same year, since it was open to traffic, 112 accidents were recorded on the Bertel Harding Highway with 16 fatalities. Omar Sise and Matar Sise are the President of General Transport Union of the Gambia and the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Transport, respectively.
So the problem is the people driving our road vehicles, they are not competent and qualified to drive. So what do you expect? Calamity. So I think let's start from drawing board. The issuance of driver's license is the main cause of road accident in this country. Because somebody who is not learned about road traffic, he don't know road signs, you expect the person to do good? No.
As a ministry, I am happy to report that the Ministry of Transport, Works and Infrastructure, working collaboratively with other institutions and agencies, is trying to tackle this problem as part of our national development.
Accidents like this one have become frequently alarming on the Battle Harding Highway. This has caused several lives lost, leaving many with life-threatening injuries. The human cost of the situation have become deeply worrying for many, including road safety authorities who have launched a campaign to find a solution. Mohamed Lamin Choi, QTV News.
As part of continued efforts and dialogue to reach a consensus before the reintroduction of the rejected draft constitution, Gambia participates today, Thursday, convened a national stakeholder convergence to discuss the practical ways of passing the constitution. Aliu Sise reports.
The Gambia's current constitution dates from 1997. In September 2020, a draft constitution to replace the 1997 one failed to get through the National Assembly. Called the Constitution We Want Convergence, this forum is attended by government officials, representatives of political parties, religious organizations, the National Assembly, the media, and civil society organizations to assimilate their insights to achieve a constitution we want. Despite the fact that the draft constitution was rejected for a variety of factors, stakeholders at this conference are still hopeful of a revival and adoption. Some of the contentious issues surrounding the draft constitution include the issue of the vetting of the appointment of ministers by the National Assembly, the inclusion or exclusion of the word secular, the presidential two-term limit retroactive clause, and the threshold required to pass a resolution for the impeachment of the president, which is deemed low. Mar Nyang is the executive director of Gambia Participates.
Indeed, jurisprudence and critical legal stories taught us that law is political, and therefore we should challenge established legal norms and principles. I am with the conviction that with a strong and progressive constitution, we will construct a resilient public law system that could be improved upon through parliamentary statutes and case laws. I think this is more sustainable than a habit of repealing a constitution anytime a new government is formed.
Khalifa Emembai, deputy clerk responsible for legal and procedural matters at the National Assembly, expressed the commitment of the parliament to be part of the process of getting a constitution we want. He is hopeful that the draft constitution will be passed to a referendum once reintroduced in parliament and protected for posterity.
Our commitment to get the Gambia a new constitution from our own end. And as I said, we are cognizant of the important role that parliament plays in getting us this fundamental document that we all yearn for as a Gambia.
Salou Tal, chairperson, Board of Advisors, Gambia Participates, says the process of getting a desired legal document belongs to everyone, with the state expected to lead the process.
If there's any one thing that should bring us together, is ensuring that we have a third republic founded on a republican constitution to replace the draconian, undemocratic constitution that was weaponized against all of us indiscriminately. This is beyond and above politics. This is beyond and above vested interests. We should look at our collective interests as Gambians. If we love our country, if we put our country first, if we see red, white, blue, white, green, we must do our utmost, bend backwards to make sure, even as much as we disagree, that we pass. When I say we, all of us as Gambians, to ensure that we pass the constitution we want.
John Charles Njai, chairman of YMCA Gambia, and Anita Mahoney, Gambia Participates Program Manager, respectively, appealed to the political class to put aside their political differences to pave the way for smooth passing of the constitution when it is tabled before lawmakers. Reporting for QTV News, I am Aliu Sise.
The Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, in collaboration with the World Bank Group WBG, has launched the Gambia Resilience, Inclusion, Skills and Equity RISE project. The initiative aims to increase job-relevant skills and income-generating opportunities for the Gambia's youth, particularly the poor and vulnerable. Lena Igwenywa reports.
The Gambia RISE project, a 5-year multi-sectoral initiative, is funded with $92.71 million, including $80.45 million from the International Development Association and $12.26 million from the Global Partnership for Education. The project will be implemented by several entities: the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, the Ministry of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology, the National Nutrition Agency, the National Social Protection Secretariat, and the Department of Community Development, each leading activities within their domains. Here is Mohamed B.S. Jallo, Vice President of the Gambia, on the project's potential to transform lives.
The RISE project is at the core of the development aspirations of the country to respond to current challenges faced by our youthful population. These objectives align with the Recovery-Focused National Development Plan, the YIRUA. The plan prioritizes human capital development under Pillar 4, amongst other things, to reap the demographic dividend for the country.
Hadija Tusi, the Minister of Basic and Secondary Education, and Pierre Gomez, the Minister of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology, respectively praised the project for boosting foundational learning and expanding access to technical and vocational education and training (TVET).
If you look at my student population from EDC to lower upper basic schools all the way to senior secondary schools, the total is over 800,000 students. I have over 35,000 teachers, and if you look at the staff that are in the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, it's close to 2,000. So if you sum it all up, it's over 900,000 people. So you can see the significance of my sector in this project.
MOHAS, in collaboration with its partners, is committed to not only increasing access to TVET programs, but also ensuring that these programs are equitable, high quality, and relevant to all Gambians. By doing so, we aim to equip our citizens with the skills and knowledge needed to drive innovation and create sustainable employment opportunities.
Faye Borough-Face World Bank resident representative and Christian Bodewig, the World Bank's practice manager for social protection and jobs in West Africa, highlighted the importance of collaboration to achieve the project's goal of improving education quality, creating employment opportunities, and providing social protection.
Success will occur if implementation takes place through collaboration and coordination. I think this is the most important aspect of this project, knowing that by investing in the Gambian youth, we invest in the future of the Gambia.
If you look at where the Gambia was 5 years ago and where it is today, I don't even want to imagine where you can be 5 years from now with the support of the RISE project. There is a lot of dynamism in this country, in this sector, and we're very, very happy to be associated with that.
The RISE project is expected to benefit over 272,000 individuals, including youth, children, teachers, and vulnerable households. This comprehensive approach aims to sustainably improve livelihoods and educational outcomes. Reporting for QTV News, I am Lena E. Igwenyiba.
We will now go for a commercial break. When we return, we have more local and international news stories. Do stay tuned.
The future is now with QCell's 5G network. Experience speeds like never before with our new 5G Rocket Fix Internet plan. Get speeds from 10 Mbps to 100 Mbps. Your 5G-enabled devices. Walk into QCell headquarters to get one of our 5G routers and experience the true feeling of 5G. Only with QCell. QCell brings you the future. Tech, innovation, incredible speed. The future is now. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunyapus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
The art of juggling is a true spectacle of agility, coordination, and speed. A symbol of progression, precision, and mastery. "5G speed is like having the juggler in your pocket. With lightning fast download and upload speeds. you'll easily be able to juggle even the busiest workdays. Whether you're a busy entrepreneur, a creative, or just someone who wants to stay connected, juggle your tasks with ease with QCell 5G speed. The future is here. It's fast, reliable, and efficient. First brought to you by QCell. We innovate, others follow.
Welcome back, and this is QTV News. At a media briefing on Thursday, the Statistician General Nyakasi MB Sanyang assured Gambians that, among other things, that the 2024 population and housing census will be the most accurate census ever conducted in the country. Jennifer Sonko reports.
For the first time in the Gambia, a housing and population census will be conducted digitally. Data will be collected using tablets and a geographical information system to improve data quality and limit delays. The Gambia conducts a census every 10 years to provide information on the size, distribution, and characteristics of the country's population. To achieve this, the Gambia Bureau of Statistics deploys trained, qualified data collectors who visit various communities and households to collect the data. For this census, 5,309 data collectors were recruited, as well as 1,087 supervisors. How was the recruitment process conducted to ensure accuracy? Here is Statistician General Nyakasi MB Sanyang.
I think and I believe that this census will be the most, in terms of quality, the most quality census because of a number of reasons. Let me start from the recruitment process. I think this time around, the recruitment process is more transparent than ever. Now, we have a platform where we ask everybody to apply through, and the process. And this does not involve one person. It was a team.
The Gambia Bureau of Statistics has announced that it is obliged to withhold 10% of the contract amount of data collectors and remit to the Gambia Revenue Authority. However, this news was not welcomed by some data collectors who spoke to us off the record. However, what does the law say about this? Henry Mendy, Manager Compliance and Taxpayer Education with the Gambia Revenue Authority, clarifies.
Is it legal for the enumerators to pay tax? Yes. Is it legal for GBOS to deduct it? Yes. Where is it based? The Income and Value Added Tax 2012, Section 89 spells it out. It's very clear that any person involved in any economic or income generating activity, and you've earned more than $2,000, it's $2,001, you're supposed to pay tax.
There has been reports of delay in payment of data collectors' allowances, which partly contributed to the delay in the commencement of the census. Also, there are allegations that participants were supposed to receive $1,000 as daily allowances for their training, and yet participants received $300. Statistician General Nyakasi MB Sanyang clarifies.
Extract payments, a digital form was created at the start of the main census training to capture the mobile money transfer details of all participants. However, getting this information from the various centers was a big challenge as regional census officers struggled to stabilize the centers. It's important to note that no such amount was allocated as allowances to participants. The $300 provided is not compensation for time spent attending the training. Rather, it's given to them as transport refund.
The previous census was conducted in 2013. Centers nationwide launched field operations in various districts, starting with the listing of compounds, buildings, and structures. The counting of households and all persons living in the Gambia will officially commence on census night, May 31st, 2024, and will end on June 14, 2024. Reporting for QTV News, I am Jennifer Sonko.
The Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, in collaboration with the African Center for Democracy and Human Rights Studies and partners, on Thursday commenced a two-day regional forum on monitoring women's participation in peace and security in the ECOWAS and Sahel regions. Lena Igwenyiba reports.
This forum consists of representatives from Senegal, Cape Verde, the Republic of Guinea, Guinea-Bissau and Chad to share recommendations on addressing the intergenerational divide, social inequalities in power, peace and social cohesion, multifaceted security threats, socio-political and climate unrest, and most importantly, gender-related social inequalities in West Africa and the Sahel. Fatou Kinte, the Minister of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, spoke on the theme of the forum.
The theme for this year's event, I quote, sentinels with the he for she to strengthen and consolidate the rights of women and children for peace and social cohesion, unquote, is indeed relevant and timely, as it calls for consolidating gains made on the rights of women on the realms of peace and security. I am confident that the ECOWAS members states will continue to adopt measures aimed at strengthening women's full participation in electoral processes, incorporate a gender perspective in all peacemaking efforts, as well as implement measures that would increase the number of women in the security sector.
Hannah Foster, Executive Director of the African Center for Democracy and Human Rights Studies, highlighted the disparity between data on women's participation and the reality, attributing this gap to cultural norms that hinder women's involvement.
The African Center has carried out a research of political party manifestos and constitutions. And it is little wonder that when you look at the documents speak positively about incorporation, about making sure that there is space for women. But in reality, it is the opposite. We still have a long way to go.
Aissatou Sawane, chairperson of the National Women's Council, underscored the disproportionate impact of conflict and insecurity on vulnerable groups, particularly women and children. She stressed the need for increased collaboration and female participation in decision-making processes.
Unless and until there is justice, unless and until there is respect, and unless and until there is dignity, it will be difficult to attain peace. And my women folks, what happens when there is no peace? We are, of course, the vulnerable, and of course with our children. So therefore, it is our responsibility. We all know Africa, we live in a highly patriarchal society. But you know what? We need to dialogue. We need to support each other. Our voices need to be heard. And for our voices to be heard, we need to have to come together collectively. Make sure we find ourselves where the decision making is.
At the end of the two-day forum, a statement, evaluation and summary report will be compiled and forwarded to the authorities and institutions, along with a compilation of recommendations for action. Reporting for QTV News, I am Lena Igwenyiba.
The Ministry of Health, in collaboration with the World Health Organization and the Regional Community Health, concluded a 10-day mass drug administration against schistosomiasis in the North Bank and the Upper River regions. This story by Don Williams in NPR and Samba Kamara in URR is narrated by Julden Jai.
The nationwide mass drug administration campaign to combat schistosomiasis ended in the North Bank and the Upper River regions, considered one of the endemic areas. Lamin Jabate, Principal Regional Health Officer, explains reason behind this campaign.
It's a neglected tropical disease, and it has been neglected. It's part of those that are neglected in the sub-Saharan Africa, and Gambia is not an exception. And as such, it is really affecting a lot among the children and even in all ages.
At Farafenye Proper Lower Basic School, Lamin Ba, a public health officer, says the disease is dangerous and urges people to get vaccinated. At Yalal Tankojala, on the outskirts of Farafenye, Bala Jata, the neglected tropical disease program manager, is satisfied with the feedback from the field.
It's very impressive. Myself, I've been in the field since on Sunday, trying to follow the teams to see what is happening and to know whether they have some challenges or see how best I can support them in the field technically. Because it's the best way to supervise is to follow teams in the field and know their challenges and try to solve them whilst right on the ground.
Dr. Jean Minor, The WHO interim country representative speaks about the importance of this campaign against schistosomiasis.
This medicine is very effective in treating schistosomiasis. It has been found to be extremely effective with very minimal side effects. Sometimes the side effects would be related to other unknown reasons within the beneficiaries, but it has been found in many different countries to be very safe.
Meanwhile, in the village of Dingri, in Tumana district of the Upper River region, Ibrahim Nyamanta is the EPI focal person in URR.
Anyone who knows URR, the geographical location, you will know Upper River region is an endemic area for schistosomiasis. Myself, especially when I was in the field, I've seen a lot of cases of schistosomiasis in URR. So the campaign in URR is really very important. From previous experience, people have some side effects from the drugs that they took. Okay, so that also is trying to hinder the progress of the campaign this year around. But with that, notwithstanding, we also have our individuals in the communities that some of who are not even part of the campaign, but we try to engage them. Those are the village structures. And also we had a meeting with some of the alcalos to try to sensitize them, to try to combat the resistance from taking the drugs. There is hesitancy with regards to their experience from previous side effects.
Seni Sane, a disease surveillance officer at the Ministry of Health, explains the age range of those they are targeting to protect.
We are targeting 27 districts and a total population of 600,000 individuals with age category, targeting primary school children, senior school children, and even elders at risk, that is 15 years and above.
Globally, estimates shows that at least 251.4 million people required preventive treatment against the disease in 2021. The best way to prevent schistosomiasis is to avoid swimming in or wading in contaminated water. For QTV News, I am Julden Yai.
Before we end, here's a recap of the headlines. Due to growing road safety concerns, road safety authorities gathered on Thursday to launch a road safety campaign to raise awareness of the proper use of the Bethel-Harding Highway and other roads in the Gambia. As part of continued efforts and dialogue to reach a consensus before the reintroduction of the rejected draft constitution, Gambia participates today, Thursday, convened a national stakeholder convergence to discuss the practical ways of passing the constitution. The Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, in collaboration with the World Bank Group, has launched the Gambia Resilience, Inclusion, Skills and Equity Project. The Statistician General Nyakasi MB Sanyang assured Gambians that among other things that the 2024 population and housing census will be the most accurate census ever conducted in the country. The Ministry of Gender, in collaboration with the African Center for Democracy and Human Rights Studies and partners, on Thursday commenced a two-day regional forum on women's participation in peace and security in the ECOWAS and Sahel regions. Well, that's all we have for you in this bulletin. Join us at 10 p.m. for another news bulletin. Thanks for watching.